Hello guys, this is Brian Mounts. I run turfmechanic.com and the channel you're watching, the Turf Mechanic YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you about yellow, orange colored grass. Somewhere around the 1st of September this year, I started noticing under my apple trees the grass was starting to change colors slightly, almost like it was starting to fade. It made me think maybe I'm not watering it enough. I looked up to the apples and I wondered if maybe the apples were dropping to the ground and discoloring the grass. I didn't think too much of it for a while, but after about 10 days or so, it started to get a little bit more prominent and I started noticing it under other trees. Now, granted, I've got 3 fruit trees here in my yard and it was starting to happen under all 3 fruit trees, and then it dawned on me. This has nothing to do with the fruit, it has to do with fungus. If you live in the northern climates and you've got perennial rye and Kentucky bluegrass in your yard, that's what I have. I have a mix. Perennial rye and Kentucky bluegrass in the late summer all the way into the fall start slowing down. Their growth habits start slowing down. It's just natural. You can keep it going with heavy fertilization and adequate water, but naturally the grass wants to grow a little bit slower. During the summer, obviously it's very hot. And then as it moves into the fall, as temperatures start declining, anytime you put water on the grass, it doesn't evaporate off the grass blades quite as fast as it did in the heat of the summer, which is why during the late summer and fall, fungus, rust fungus, can start appearing on your grass blades. It looks like kind of a grimy yellow-orange color. In the beginning, you might be tempted to water it more, thinking that the grass is just kind of checking out for some reason. But the problem usually is there's either too much standing water on the area, maybe you're watering too late in the day, maybe you're watering at night. I tell people to water their grass in the early morning, but the thing is, this past summer there was a handful of times that I watered in the evening and just let it stay wet all night long, and that's probably why the rust fungus started showing up. For the majority of people who have rust fungus in their lawns, it usually starts in the shady areas underneath trees. That's exactly what I saw. Under this tree right here, I had a small bit over there. On the other side of the swing set, under my small kind of fence line apple tree, I had the largest rust fungus infestation. And then on the other side of the house, under my other apple tree, I had a small patch that was visible, only because I was looking for it. With rust fungus, if you don't do anything at all, it will continue to spread. And if it gets really bad, then it will actually, like the fungal spores will start coming off of the grass onto your shoes. You can rub them off with your fingers. In the early stages, it's not nearly as detrimental to the lawn, nor is it as gross, honestly, but it's also easier to repair. The best case scenario is you just don't let it happen to begin with, and that's why people put down preventative fungicides in the early to mid-summer, kind of in that late July, early August time frame. I didn't do that because I didn't think I was at risk, but hey, what do I know? I only run a grass channel here on YouTube and a lawn and garden site over on the interwebs. Considering the fact that it took me 10 full days at least to identify the problem in my lawn, chances are you're watching this video simply because you're a subscriber to this channel, which of course I thank you. I love my subscribers. Or you were searching for a remedy to the problem in your lawn. Maybe you're trying to find a diagnosis. If you noticed yellowing and oranging of the tips of your grass blades, even if it was days ago or weeks ago or months ago, you will be better served to deal with the problem now than to hope that it goes away. Now, this is the steps that I have taken to repair my problem, and they should work for almost everyone watching this video. If your problem is particularly bad, it won't go as fast as my remediation process. This rust fungus is actually quite common. Like I said before, it starts mostly because of watering and shade and and the grass blades don't dry off. So the first step that I did was completely stop watering. I allowed my grass to fully dry. I allowed the soil to fully dry. Now, the fungus continues to grow not just because of water, but also because the grass isn't growing as vigorously as it was in the spring. So in the springtime and also into the early summer, grass blades just simply naturally grow faster than they do during the summer and the late summer. Even in the fall, grass will grow a little bit faster, but nothing like the spring. The spring is the vigorous time of the year for grass, no matter what you do. During the summer, it wants to go dormant because of high heat and frequently drought. We keep it going because we water the lawn. We also keep it going because we nourish the lawn with fertilizers throughout the spring to keep it as healthy as possible. But the simple fact of the matter is, even during those late summer months, the grass just doesn't grow as fast. Any fungal spores that start growing on the grass literally stay there for a longer period of time. Because the grass isn't growing as fast, you don't cut as often, and those spores continue to spread, especially if your watering practices allow that or make that a possibility. Step number one in the late summer and the fall to get rid of rust fungus is just take a week off of watering. That's what I did. I just didn't water the grass for a full week. It started drying out. Then I pulled out Scott's Disease X. Now, there are other disease and fungicides out there that you can put down. This is just the one that I picked up from my local store here in town while I was driving by. It doesn't really matter that much which brand you buy. It just doesn't. They're fungicides. There are going to be some that are better than others and some that are more expensive than others. Just get whatever makes sense to you. Put it down on your lawn at not the preventative rate, at the curative rate. That's usually about twice the application of the preventative rate. In hindsight, I probably should have put this product down at the end of July or the early part of August, but like I said, I didn't, and that's probably why you're watching this video as well. You didn't either. Pick up a bag, they don't cost that much, throw it down at that curative rate, water it in. Then what I did is I waited 2 days. After 2 days, I pulled out my Simple Aerate from ChemWise. This is a product that I've got linked down below, and it's over on my website. You can go take a look at it. It doesn't, honestly, it's not the purpose of that product to aerate the grass in this case. I use that product because it is a heavy dose of humic acid and potassium all rolled into one little product. You want to put the humic acid down because that allows for better uptake of nutrients and water, so you don't have to water as much. And then the potassium works to boost the immune system of the grass. Now, this is probably not a scientific way of describing what happens, but it's the way that I envision it in my head. Potassium is the immune system booster for your lawn. When you put it down, the grass is healthier and it is better able to fend off disease and fungal attacks. I've got an entire video on this topic, which is linked above and down below if you want to learn more. Simple Aerate, or virtually any other liquid aeration product out there, contain potassium and humic acids. That's what we want. So 2 days after I applied the fungicide, I put the aeration product down, sprayed it on the lawn, and then I waited to the next day to water it in and mow. This time I mowed, I bagged the clippings. I don't usually do that, but I bagged the clippings because the tips of the grass blades is where the fungal spores are, and I wanted to get them off the lawn. 2 days later, I then came back with a nitrogen-based lawn fertilizer. The point here is that I want to get the grass blades growing fast again. You could use a slow-release granular product like a Milorganite, which you can find most places around the country in just big box stores. But I used a quicker release liquid product that I've got in the garage, which I can also link to down below if you care. The purpose of that was to get it into the lawn and get the grass growing faster. Once the grass blades start growing faster, then I can mow more frequently. And the more frequently I can mow and bag the clippings, the more of those fungal spores I can suck up off the lawn. Basically, I want the grass to grow faster and grow clean, fungal-free blades up so that I can remove the infested blades with my lawnmower. This entire process has taken me 8 days. That's it. I haven't spent very much because none of these products cost particularly much. And in 8 days, I've got roughly 75% cure rate. Now, I'm just pegging a number on there based on what I see. There are still a couple sections that are still looking slightly yellow-orange. They still have a little bit of that rusty tinge to them, but there are lots of areas of my lawn already that appear to be completely cured. If you've got rust fungus in your lawn, I recommend you take all of these steps. What I'm still going to do in another 5 to 6 days, I'm going to put another application down of my liquid nitrogen fertilizer. We've still got warm temperatures here in South Oregon. We're in the low 80s and it's October 2nd. So I'm just going to keep pushing growth so that I can cut this stuff out of the lawn and get as much out as possible, because this kind of fungal problem can persist over winter and come back again in the spring. That's what I don't want. I want to remind you, if you have this problem now or ever, that it is an easy solution. The way that I talk to my kids is we're just giving the lawn some medicine, and then we give the lawn some vitamins, and then a couple days later we give the lawn some, I don't know, pot roast, peanut butter jelly sandwich, whatever it is that kids eat to make them grow big and strong. Those are the 3 steps. Just make sure you mow and bag your clippings in between all of those things. Make sure you get your watering practices back into a healthy pattern, because the watering practices might have been the problem in the first place. In a couple weeks, probably, I'm going to do a follow-up to this video. I hope that you subscribe and watch that follow-up. Hopefully, we'll still have warm weather and I'll be able to show you a nice lush green grass free of rust fungus. That's the goal. Please hit the like button if this helped, and I can't wait to show you another video down the road. I don't know, maybe in just a couple days, or maybe this one right over here. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time. Take care.